Alright guys, we are back here in the Hillbilly Garage. We've got Mighty Mouse in here. As you can see, this stinking today's April 1st, and it's cold again. I'm back in my coveralls. But we're going to do kind of a kickoff to Mighty Mouse build here. Before we get going crazy with the suspension mods and stuff that I'm sure you guys have heard I'm doing by now, we're going to take care of some safety issues. So to kind of kick this project off, we are going to install some Tusk 4-point harnesses in this 500. Now I know I've seen posts before from several people, asking about harness installs. I went with the 4-point harness because I think it's going to be easier than a 5-point. With a 5-point, you're going to have to find some place to mount that center. And plus, the 500 is not really a speed demon. So these aren't really to keep you in on high-speed rollovers. This is more as a little added protection on hill climbs, rock climbing if we were just to tip over at low speeds. These are going to keep us in our seats a lot better. So I got the Tusk 4-point harness. As you can see, they have nice shoulder pads. Of course, quick release. They also have these little, foam pockets. Your typical 4-point harnesses, only these are at a much more budget-friendly price than some of your more expensive ones. And to go along with that, I also got the shoulder strap retainers that will hook around the straps and keep them kind of tied together in the back. So as you're riding, if you don't have them cinched real tight, this will keep them from kind of sliding down your shoulders. So I already have my seats out. We'll have to remove all the stock seatbelt components to get that stuff out of the way. So let's scoot to the front and I'll show you what needs done. Of course, as you guys can see, I already said I got the seats out. Yeah, that's still from the AOAA trip. When I hosed this guy off, I didn't mess with the seats or anything. I did pull my filter lid off, and my even though this was somewhat underwater, I didn't hardly get anything but a trickle of water in there. It's probably what ran in here. So I'm glad that I kept my resonator box and everything. I think that helped to trap the water to keep a lot of it from running into the air box, because this was definitely partially underwater, if not fully underwater for the time being. Well, obviously it wasn't fully underwater, or I would have sucked in all the water. But glad I kept the resonator box and stuff. My seal around my lid worked. I know people have questions whether putting dialect grease around that to help boost the rubber seal that's around there will actually work, or should you black seal it to keep it, completely sealed. I didn't get a drop of water in through my lid, so just dialect greasing around there to give that little extra water protection barrier does the trick just fine. So I'm going to have to take my plastic panels off so I can get down here and unbolt here, and hopefully my 4 points will just bolt on here, and then we'll attach the shoulder straps down here to this bar, perfectly located in order to use 4-point harnesses, and we'll just wrap them up, cinch them with that shoulder strap retainer, and we should be good to go. This should be a fairly easy install. Well, it was easy enough. We got our plates off. Yes, I know it's filthy. You guys watch my videos, you know by now when I work with machines, this is pretty much the condition they're going to be in. You just have to forgive me for that. But now we just need to remove the stock seatbelt stuff. Kind of a hodgepodge of bolts here. These are 14. These down here are 16. And these ones up here are a, a T50. So in order to take this one out, you will have to invest in a T50 Torx, because that's what this bolt is here. And we have one 14mm bolt down here too, right there for our seatbelt spool. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt all this stuff, and we should be ready to start installing our harnesses. Pretty easy. Now my 500 here is a 2016 model year, so I do not have the seatbelt safety switch in mind, but if you have a 17 or later 500, it does have that safety switch, which all it is there's a little magnet in here that there'll be like a little plug in the end, and wires run up to that magnet. When you put your seatbelt in, it'll actually make that connection to complete the circuit. Without your seatbelt, it limits the speed of your machine. So if you do have that, all you have to do is just splice some wires together to complete that circuit, either with a little jumper wire. I don't know if they make them for this, but some machines you can actually order just a little plug kit where you'll just unplug it from the seatbelt buckle part, plug in the jumper, and you're good to go. I actually have one of those for my Wolverine X4, which I haven't installed yet, to bypass the seatbelt safety switch, because a lot of times I'm just running like back and forth out past the barn or something. I don't buckle my seatbelt because I'm not going faster than 5 miles an hour, and it's just a short little trip to, you know, bring firewood or something. So you will have to bypass that seatbelt safety switch if you have a 17 model year or later. I know there's how-tos on HondaSideBySide.com. I'm sure maybe someone on YouTube other than Appalachian Mountain Riders has a video of that up. I would show you, but again, I don't have that on my 16, so I can't show you. But anyway, keep that in mind if you're doing this on a 17 or later model year Pioneer 500. But I do have one concern here. I'm not sure how it's going to play for our harnesses. This side is going to, I think, work perfectly because it's set back. However, if you compare this side to this side, you can see these center buckles here are pretty far forward. We'll probably just have to see how that's going to play with the harnesses. Maybe I'll unbolt this stuff and I'll set my seat in there and we'll see. We might have to do some kind of bracket or something to relocate this back a little bit, but we won't know that until we get this unbolted and do a test fit of the harnesses, so we'll check back in when I get to that point. So for some reason here my audio didn't record on this clip, but basically all I'm explaining here is that the brackets that come with the Tusk are the perfect size for the bolts, factory seatbelt bolts. But what I did was I took the little spacer bushings off of the factory seatbelts and used that to space the Tusk bracket out a little bit, so it gave it some movement and it just worked better that way. And then the little bracket that's on the shoulder harness we don't need, because again we're just wrapping the harness itself right around the bar. That bracket was for machines made bolt ready for harnesses. So there you guys can see we're going to retain all the stuff off the factory bolt, and we'll just bolt this right back into place down here. Alright guys, we got the seat in place. We got these kind of roughed in here. So you can see they go up over. I have them attached to the bar here. You guys can kind of see because of the light. And where's that little strap, that little Tusk shoulder strap, shoulder retaining strap. It just runs, the shoulder straps just run through the loops here, and then this gets fastened. It worked out perfect that where the factory seat hooks up in is right here where we can velcro this fast, and that just helps keeps the shoulders straps tied together so they don't slide out on you as you're riding. So let's say we sit down in here and see how these fit. Right. Plenty of room. These will slide off to the side for getting in and out. I do have my big coveralls on. It'll probably make it a little tricky for adjusting. Might want to move these down a little bit. I think these might need to be down just a tad. I'm not a very big guy, so it's probably going to take quite some tightening up here of these guys to make them any good. Problem with these I can see is going to be getting the parking brake. I'll have to make sure to get the parking brake before you fasten all up. You still might end up having to get the pass-through bezel for the back of the seat here, because it seems like even with that retaining strap, these are still gonna, unless I can get that up higher, these are still gonna want to slip down. It might be what I have to do is see if I can get those higher. But tell you what, other than that, these are gonna be pretty nice. I think it's comfy. Everything is well padded. It's got the little phone holder here, which I think I may have to adjust the whole thing down a little bit. I think I'm riding a bit high. It's again hard to tell with coveralls, but like I said, The only problem with harnesses in a Pioneer 500 is you really can't reach the parking brake once you're all snatched in. So you have to make sure to remember to hit the parking brake and then fasten your harness, or else you're not going to reach it very well. But I think just this, as far as being a fairly simple bolt-in, I think it's going to work well. I'm going to make some adjustments here, get the other side finished up, everything back together and the seats in for real, and then we'll do our final adjustments. Alright guys, there you have it. They are all installed. Now this install was actually very easy. As you can see, they just went, well, as you can somewhat see. Hold on, let me get you some better light. There, maybe that's a little better, or else I'll just kind of wash you out. But anyway, we got our shoulder harnesses here using the Tusk shoulder strap retainer, which all I did was attach it here around this bar, wrapped around, velcroed it so a loop was on each side, and then was able to run each strap down through that. Same there on the other side. And then it was just a matter of running them down here to the bar, wrapping them around, getting everything adjusted, which I'll go over here in a minute when I'm done showing you how I did this. And then you just cinched them up. Now, these do not have to be super tight on the bar. You can see these slide a little bit. And keep in mind too, once you are in it and your shoulder's pushing on it and you tighten everything down, that little bit of slack here will come out as well. And then my extra harness, I just kind of folded up here and zip tied. I did the same thing here with the lap belt harnesses. You can see how much extra we have there. I just kind of rolled it up and zip tied it, given a little bit for, you know, different size people to be able to sit in this. But you don't want this just loose, flapping out here where the little hook on the end, chances are, could get caught in a stick, pull you, and cut you in half. So unless you're really wanting to lose weight in a hurry, I suggest rolling these up and either zip tying them like I did, or taping them, or do something so you don't have all that extra just out here flapping around. As you can see, these worked perfectly in our stock fastener locations, or stock seatbelt locations. No problems there whatsoever. And of course, once you get everything adjusted to where it should be, I think these are going to work quite nice. So whenever you're wearing harnesses, a little slack here from my big belly. So the lap belt harness is a quick, it's got this little hook here, if you guys can see that, and this little piece here where this simply just hooks in. There's like little ball bearings in here that this will snap into place, and then it velcros tight, so that's not going anywhere. And to release it, it's just a quick pull and you're out, which I kind of like this style a lot better than the ones that have like this kind of clip or a buckle clip, because these are a lot easier to grab a hold of. To get out of there, you don't have to mess with pinching or trying to hit a button. So you always want to get your lap belt on first, cinch it down tight. Now with the 500, it is a little tricky because you got these bars and intrusion bars and stuff here, which make it a little bit hard to tighten down, but it's doable. We snap the upper one, which we have kind of already in place, and then it's just a matter of cinching down, and we're good to go to hit the rocks and stuff. Now these Tusk, I don't know if I mentioned this, these are their 3-inch harnesses. They have little cell phone pockets here, which most modern cell phones probably won't fit in this anymore. But the thing I like is it has this little netted Velcro, this little Velcro net here, which is the perfect size for like these little radios that I tend to take on my rides. I can throw that right in there, and it's right by my ear. I can hit the button and talk right there without having to take it off, bring it to my mouth, or do anything with it. So I really like that feature as well. Now I know I said earlier about this going to be kind of hard to get the parking brake when you're riding with this, and it is, but 9 times out of 10 for your normal trail riding, you probably only need, and I will probably only use the lap belt part to hold me in, and then when I get to that huge rock face I want to try climbing up, well then once I get there I'll throw the shoulder straps on, go up it, and then I can take these back down for normal easy riding, and that doesn't hinder the parking brake at all. So these Tusk 3-point harnesses, Very easy to install on a Honda Pioneer 500. So overall installation on these harnesses, we'll call it maybe a 5 out of 10 as far as hard to install. It probably would have been a little easier for adjusting these guys if I had taken my toolbox and that off. That was a little bit of a pain trying to get in there and work between the stuff. But you guys might not have that. But now that I have these harnesses installed, I'll feel a little better about doing the kind of climbing I'm planning on doing once I get my build done with these guys, for just a little bit of extra security to help keep me in place. Should the unfortunate happen and I roll or put this guy on its side. But we're going to cross our fingers that that never happens with little Mighty Mouse. So again, these are the Tusk 3-inch 4-point harnesses from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Seem to be really nice harnesses for the price. These are these are definitely a more budget-friendly harness. And they still come with a lot of great features your more expensive brands do, such as this nice, super soft shoulder padding here. Again, it has these 2 pockets, and everything is quick release as far as loosening your tension and your lap belt, which I really like. I think these are going to do an excellent job keeping me inside the Pioneer 500 when I'm going down the trail and get a little crazy. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you found this installation video of these 4-point harnesses useful, especially if you're considering putting some in your own Pioneer 500. And I hope you enjoyed this kickoff to my Pioneer 500 build, where we're going to make Mighty Mouse a little more mighty. And upgrading the safety of your vehicle is never a bad place to start. And don't forget, you can help support Appalachian Mountain Riders by buying my merchandise through my Teespring store, where if you want even more content such as behind the scenes footage, exclusive clips, and exclusive live streams, as well as discounts to my merchandise at my Teespring store, then please consider supporting Appalachian Mountain Riders through Patreon. Don't forget to hit that like before you leave, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that notification bell, and until next time, keep on riding.